This is by far one of the most humiliating mangas I have ever read. If you thought Kazuo from Rent a Girlfriend was a loser, pathetic, or a simp in manga history, just wait until you see this man. I'm convinced that the mangaka has to have some sort of cuckold fetish. Before we can get into that though, make sure to like this video if you want to see me do more long form content. This is my first one. And also, I would like to add a trigger warning, because this manga is some soul crushing, depressing shit. This is not your classic showing where the main character gets a power up and has aura and gets a harem. No, this manga is not about self-improvement. This is just finding new ways to make the MC suffer. So this manga is called Boys in the Front. And our MC is Toshiyuki Tanishi. He's 27 years old, socially awkward, gooner, has terrible self-esteem, still lives with his parents, and has never had a girlfriend. He works as a salesman for a tiny company that installs capsule toys into vending machines. The job sucks, the pay sucks, his co-workers don't respect him. He's terrible at sales, and he's pretty much accepted that this is just his life. Like, the manga starts with this man so desperately trying to lose his virginity on his birthday. Like, that he hooks up with a random fat lady that he just met on the phone. Then she turns out to be completely crazy, has connections to the Yakuza, demands money from him, and he tries to run away, and then he gets punched in the face by her. But that's like one of the least embarrassing things that's going to happen in this manga. Despite everything going wrong in his life, Tanishi has one thing that keeps him going. At work, he got this massive crush on his one co-worker, Chiharu Imura. She's the only girl that works there. She acts all cute. Every guy is down bad for her. They hang out, but every single interaction, Tanishi is sweating bullets. And one day they make this weird deal. She gives him her favorite manga, and he's supposed to give her one of his favorite porn DVDs. This man pulls out his entire collection, overthinking it to death, then borrows another DVD from his co-worker. He mixes the discs up and accidentally gives Chiharu a DVD filled with bestiality. He is so ashamed, starts blowing up her phone with apologies, and starts to distance himself. Now we're introduced to Sakaharu Aoyama. He's the complete opposite of what Tanishi is. Taller, he's way more confident, makes more money, can fight, gets way more and works for the big rival toy company, Mammoth. Tanishi has always felt inferior to this guy, but yet he still admires him. So he tells Aoyama everything that's been happening with Chiharu. He gives him advice, and that advice leads to a double date. Aoyama with his girlfriend Hasegawa, and Tanishi with Chiharu. By the end of that double date, Tanishi and Chiharu actually grow even closer, but only for this man to get completely humiliated in front of his own girl. Remember that crazy fat woman from his birthday? She comes back, and this time she brings her boyfriend, and he beats the absolute brakes off of Tanishi. He's on his hands and knees apologizing, being folded in front of the girl he likes. Chiharu watches the entire thing, and she even tries to stand up for him. Then out of nowhere, the blonde girl in a Puma tracksuit jumps into the fight, but the damage to this man's pride and self-esteem has already been done. Tanishi tells Chiharu to leave because he doesn't want to see her in this pathetic state, but she refuses. Instead, she stays with him while he breaks down. He feels a little better. He starts working out after that. Later, he hears Chiharu is sick with a bad cold. He visits her apartment with medicine, drinks, and when he gets there, he runs into a prostitute neighbor who has been taking care of Chiharu. He has a little wholesome moment with her, but on the way out, Tanishi finds Shihori drunk and passed out. He decides to bring her back into her apartment while fighting his inner demons the entire time. He's horny as hell, but he keeps thinking about Chiharu, but Shihori keeps seducing him. So he goes to the bathroom to beat his meat. Shihori catches him. She offers him a and then Chiharu walks in. Tanishi freaks out, runs to the closet, and overhears her confessing that she's in love with him. But then eventually she finds him in the closet with his out. At his co-worker's wedding, Tanishi runs into Chiharu. He freezes up. He can't apologize properly. The whole wedding he's drunk. He realizes that he's pushing 30, watching his own co-worker get married, who's the same age as him, imagining that could have been him and Chiharu. During his speech, he loses it. He blurts out way too much personal info about what happened between him and Shihori, trying to apologize in the most weirdest way possible. And by the time he's about to confess to her, Chiharu texts him that "I hate you," just making everything worse. 3 months later, he still has had no contact with Chiharu. Then next thing you know, he sees Chiharu walking to the guy that he looks up to. This man's heart completely sinks. He starts stalking him, constantly doubting himself, until he watches them walk into a S3X shop. He's slobbering, sniffing, just full on ugly crying, but he still won't give up. He's telling himself, that there's still a 0.1% that they're not dating. He overhears her arguing with Ayoma. She's yelling at him about he's ghosting her, never takes her anywhere. And he just brushes her off and walks away. Then Tanashi sees her sitting alone. He approaches her, and in his car, she confirms that they are dating, and he's just been dying inside the entire time. Now, Chiharu ends up getting fired and will be leaving the company soon. The crew goes on a vacation, and Tanashi is trying to enjoy it, but is still upset about her leaving. They get drunk, and now he's alone in a room with Chiharu. Then she opens up about how Ayoma has dumped her and ghosted her completely. This awakens something in Tanashi. He feels like he has a second chance. The next morning, he spots her alone on the beach. He walks up, siphoning himself up to confess, but then right when he's about to say it, she reveals that she's pregnant. So she asks Tanashi for a huge favor: to sign the abortion papers since Ayoma has dipped. They go to the clinic together. When it's time for him to sign the consent form, both of them look completely devastated. This moment made Tanashi livid. He declares war on Ayoma. At work, he's blowing up his phone and email, and when he finally reaches him, he's just playing mind games, saying it's none of your business, I took your girl, sending him pictures, and then Tanashi just yelling, oh, I'm gonna beat your ass. Ayoma sets the date. They will meet up by February 1st. So Tanashi goes on a mini training arc, gets boxing lessons from his drunk older co-worker Suzuki, learning the basics, gets inspired from watching real matches, but then Chiharu finds out and confronts him. He doesn't want him to get involved. She feels like he has no reason to and just entirely wants to forget the entire situation. But Tanashi is too devoted now. Can't go back. But one day while Tanashi is restocking capsule toy vending machines, he gets saved by Ayoma and his co-worker, Nagi. And they just start roasting him, bringing up like how he got caught with a prostitute, telling him to grow up, and laughing at him for fighting over a girl that he has never officially dated. Tanashi tries to fight back and stand up for himself, but then he just ends up humiliating himself even more. The day before the fight happens, he promises that once he beats Ayoma, he'll see her off properly. He cuts his hair into an ugly ass mohawk, and now the day has come. Tanashi pulls up to his company, but he has to take a shit first. So while he's in the bathroom, two of Ayoma's co-workers walk in. He overhears them debating if he will show up. Then they bring up Chiharu. Nagi brags about he slept with her too, calling her easy, saying a bunch of whole degrading things about her, calling her a vacuum sucker. This infuriates Tanashi. He walks up, pulls out his business card, and uppercuts the f*** out. This is the exact move that he's been training to use on Ayoma, this salaryman sucker. If he could just land this one move on him, he could win. The main fight is about to begin in a steel cage deathmatch at the park. But before the fight starts, Tanashi noticed that Ayoma is barefooted. And then he says Chiharu has told him everything. Before Tanashi can even do his move, he kicks him right in the face. This man is doing capoeira, roundhouse kicks, and handstands. All these acrobatic ass moves. Then he exposes what Chiharu would say about him, saying that Tanashi is creepy, always staring at her at work, and said that if they ever dated and break up, he'll turn into a weird stalker. He also says Chiharu eats his ass clean. During the entire fight, Tanashi cannot land a single hit. Just mounts on him and just starts raining punches on him. He's desperately trying everything in his power to get him off, but nothing works. But then suddenly, he pisses on himself. Ayoma gets off and now he's caught off guard. If he can just land this uppercut that he's been training and working so hard on, nope, he dodges. It hits Tanashi with a tornado spin kick, knocking Tanashi out cold. After the fight, he's bandaged up, exhausted, and at his lowest point. Still, he forces himself to keep his promise that he made to Chiharu. They have an emotional goodbye moment. Chiharu looks at his injuries and is worried about him, but then she asks if Ayoma is okay. This is the same guy who literally ghosted her after she became pregnant. This triggers something in Tanashi. He just snaps and starts saying a bunch of degrading things about her. Chiharu looks hurt and just tired. She turns around, boards the train to get away from him, and Tanashi is completely left on the platform, defeated. And that's the end of part 1. I think there's another 50 chapters, but I'm pretty sure he continues to take L's throughout the entirety of the manga. Well, that's the end of this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, don't be like Tanashi.